guys, it is Tanya, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another speed build and to another installment of the Squish. This build is one I'm kind of really excited to share with you guys because it's a little bit more experimental than some of my builds are, and I've mentioned this before, but I really love going into builds occasionally with no set plan, just seeing what happens, and boy did I do that here today, because this is my first ever build using Twisted Mexie's T.O.O.L mod. This has been around for a while. I've been asked if I'm going to check it out before, and I've always just kind of put it off because I was a little bit afraid that I was going to be horrible at it. And trust me, I am very, very, very bad at it. And I cut out a lot of the footage of me failing miserably. But some of it's still in here, so I hope you enjoy that if you understand how to use the T.O.O.L mod and you see me messing up quite a bit. But I decided to, of course, record my first experience with this mod in the form of a speed build, and I thought I'd make it easier on myself and not have as much variety. So this is only a base game build. It's also only a tiny house, and I decided why not make it a starter home as well. So that way, if you guys only have base game, you want a tiny house, and you want to move in directly out of Create a Sim, this is the house for you. Plus, it's a little bit more creative and different because it does use the T.O.O.L mod, so things are rotated or raised or lowered in ways that or mostly lowered in ways that you typically couldn't do without this mod. With that being said though, you do not need the mod in order to download this build. This is not going to count as having custom content in your game if you use this build, and it'll all be good. However, if you are interested in downloading the T.O.O.L mod and trying it out for yourself, I will have that link down below as well, because I think it's pretty cool, and I have a feeling I'm going to be using it in a lot of builds going forward because it's a bit addicting, especially for landscaping. You're going to see that come together. But for this house, I really wanted to have that curved portion on the side. I do have it on the front of the house a little bit right now as well, but I do get rid of that in the end and just have the side bit. But I had so much fun rotating these shelves so they were standing up straight or at angles, and I don't know. This is so much fun, so I hope you guys do enjoy this build as well. I spend a majority of the time working on the exterior of this, and because I decided to have it as a starter home, the interior is kind of bare. But I feel like if you're gonna have a starter home, that might be preferred because it's easier when you download a house to just update the furnishings, I think, than the whole structure of the place. So I feel like that's okay maybe, but let me know what you guys think about that because I just really wanted to make this a starter home, but I had a lot of fun on the outside, and I think that's where most of the budget went. Plus, 20,000 simoleons is not that many simoleons. So anyway, I really wanted to have this little accent of that brown sticking out on the front with that shelf. And I changed the roof a few times. You'll see it just pop in and out, but I think this is the one we ended up going with. I had so much trouble figuring out what I wanted to do with the roof because I really liked what I had created on the sides with the shelves, and I didn't feel like the regular roofs really met up with how nice I thought that looked, if that made sense. You'll also see me using T.O.O.L quite a bit to go ahead and lower some plants into the ground to make things shorter. And I think that's probably going to be the most common way I use T.O.O.L is for landscaping, making rocks shorter, bushes shorter, because I'm like, oh, I like the width of this, but it's too tall. Here, let me shove it into the ground, and I can do that now, so that's really exciting. I did add a car from Live Edit Objects over here, and we're using a lot of sand as terrain paint. I also was really excited because if you lower this wheelbarrow from Live Edit Objects into the ground, you get these really pretty yellow flowers, and I don't know why that excited me so much, but it did. And so I use those in a couple places on this lot, and I'm probably going to continue to do that in the future. I just had a lot of fun with the landscaping, turning trees into bushes. I did that quite a bit. You'll see that keep happening. I was just having fun experimenting and probably going a little bit too overboard with shrinking trees and stuff or shoving them into the ground. Everything needed to go into the ground, and quite often I made it go too far and had to revise it, and I cut some of that out, but some of it's probably still in here as well. So yeah, hopefully it's enjoyable. I also added these rocks framing out this flower area. These are also from Live Edit Objects. I use them quite a bit, but I don't think I've ever used them to be like a border like that. I usually imagine them as stepping stones, and this time I was like, you know what, these look kind of cool as a border. I would normally put like full-on rocks that have more dimension, not slabs like that. but I thought it was kind of nice. And here I am being like, these palm trees could make nice bushes. And so I played around with that for a bit. I think I ended up getting rid of them in the end, but I did it with a different palm tree. A bunch of the things that I already put down I'm going to end up getting rid of because it was a little too much. And I really liked this palm tree stuck into the ground because this is a very tall palm tree out front. And I kind of like the texture on it. It doesn't match as well as some of the other plants, but it's not one I use very often. And since I was having fun with base game and T.O.O.L, I was just like, you know what, we're going to use this. But I think the palm tree we just stuck into the ground worked really nicely. And then I used this window. I didn't know you could size up windows and they stayed okay because I know like mirrors are a problem. But I did that, and then I used T.O.O.L to stick it into the ground, so it has sort of like a covered porch area out front here. I had a lot of fun with that, and then of course with these brick accents as well that I used all over this build. This whole place has a lot of brick, and then I end up changing out a lot of the brick wallpaper though for a brown siding. And yeah, just getting a couple more details here before we go to the inside. I lowered this Show Live Edit Objects fence to cover up the foundation in the front, and then also added kind of a little planter down here as well using this I think that's technically supposed to be like a little balcony, but you can see I'm just lowering everything. And I learned the hard way before I looked it up. A lot of the items in Show Live Edit Objects you can't go ahead and rotate in different ways because they don't have those points on them because of the way the items were made or something like that, but you can still lower and raise them. So there's a lot of footage of me trying to rotate debug items and it not working, and so I got rid of that. So fun facts in case you didn't know that. But anyway, we're on to the inside now, and this is going to be where the kitchen is. I changed the colors of this way too many times, so I cut that out, and all of a sudden it just snaps to different colors a few different times. But you know, it's all base game, so I was limited on which things I could use, but I thought that these ones looked the nicest in the end. And it's very bare bones in here, like I mentioned, like really bare bones. I tried to make it look a little bit more interesting, so I did the tiles on the floor like this. This is wood, not really tiles, but I call them all floor tiles, just, I don't know, just like bricks or wallpaper. Anyway, I rotated it back and forth to make the floor look a little bit more interesting, but I do swap it out for a darker wood instead of the white wood that we have now. The bathroom only has a shower and a toilet because without the university shower to keep that size working, I didn't have enough space. One thing that I think that this home would benefit from if you had other packs and downloaded this is potentially a Murphy bed, because right now it's a little awkward. There's not really a good space to hang out, but it has everything you need to survive. It's very minimal in here. But there's definitely things you can go ahead and upgrade and update as you play here, but we do have an outdoor eating space. I don't think I've ever used this table before. I did not know we had this table in the game. Am I the only one that feels that way? Do you use that table all the time? I've never even seen it before. I also added an easel out here. I wanted to make sure there were some sort of skill building objects and activities to do. And now I'm switching out those floorboards. I think all that I do for the rest of this is add some more wallpapers to make the walls look a little bit more interesting, because we didn't really have enough money for wall art, but I could change some of the wallpapers to break it up a little bit. Also adding a trash can as well as a fire alarm. And I think I end up adding a little hand towel by the sink as well, especially because this is the only sink in the house. I needed like some sort of accessory in here. It's very minimally decorated. I thought about adding that bathroom cabinet, but there wasn't enough money for it, adding the trash can outside, and yeah, it had to go so we could get a trash can inside. But anyway, we are coming to the end of the video. I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I'd love to have you join us. And if you click that bell, it'll turn on notifications so you'll be notified of every single time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so very, very much for watching. We're just going to be finishing up changing some color swatches and nudging some things around to place them exactly where I was hoping they might be. But it's very minimal in here, but I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. And we're gonna head into screenshots now. Bye everybody.